This is JavaScript for Beginners tutorial. My name remains Vincent, hope your instructor. So we'll be dealing with lesson 4, which is actually our third recording, how to use JavaScript in HTML documents. So let's jump right into it. First, we know that a computer program is a list of instructions, and these instructions are called statements. That is to be executed by a computer. Every instruction, which is called a statement, is to be executed by a computer. That's the idea of coding. So that is, you need to get that clear. Now, moving on, JavaScript instructions or statements comprise of values, operators, expressions, keywords, and comments. What does that mean? Every statement has these 5 components. Now let's look at them. What are the values? Values are numbers. Let's take this, for example, x is equals to 5. This is the value. Another one, the operator. The operator is the mathematical operations you use. For example, you say y equal to 6. The mathematical operation is equal to. In this one, you said z equal to x plus y. X plus y. The plus sign is the operator. Then we have the expression. Expression is a full line statement. For example, you say x is equals to 5 is an expression. Y is equals to 6 is an expression. Then we have keywords. Keywords are the things that tell you what the code is about to do. For example, you say let's x, y, z. Now let is a keyword. So, and it's telling you that x is equals to 5, y is equals to 6, then z is equals to x plus y. Then finally, comments. Comments are the statements you make on a program to tell the audience or remind you of what is being done on that statement. For example, we put a statement here which starts with a double slash, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. So every JavaScript instruction has values, operators, expressions, keywords, and comments. Now let's move forward. Now, JavaScript programs contain many JavaScript statements. That is to be understood, which are executed one by one in the same order they are written. So it follows from the same order from which they are written. So if you have a line 4 is executed before line 5, line 5 is executed before line 6. Each statement is separated by a semicolon. That's important. If you look at this statement here, z is equals to x plus y, colon, semicolon. Now, JavaScript statements can be grouped together in code blocks. This is also important. Inside curly brackets. These are curly brackets, this one and this one. Then you put your content inside, which are executed together. So let's look at the program. Let's go down. Look at the program, doc type, HTML body. We are all used to all this here. Now, the JavaScript, like we said, JavaScript starts with the script tag. This is the opening script tag. This is the closing script tag. So in the script tag, we have function.myFunction, open and close bracket. Now look at the curly braces here. This one starts opening one, and this is the closed one, which is what we said here, opening and closed. Then in between this code block, this is a code block now, you have the JavaScript. So now you say document.getElement by ID demo1, e.innerHTML equals to hello computers, ISP computers, document.getElement by ID .inner plus HTML, what courses do you offer? So let's see how this works. Let's go to, let's bring it into the screen. Okay, let's bring this into the screen, recording screen. Okay, let's go to Java 4.1 statement. When we double click this, you have this. Let's bring this one to okay. So we now have it here. So look at the code. JavaScript statement. JavaScript codes are written in curly braces. Click me. If you click me, you see hello ISP computers. What courses do you offer? Now let's check the code. Click on this. Right click it. edit with Notepad++, Notepad++, so we minimize this. So you see it, this one brings out the JavaScript statements, JavaScript code blocks, they are all paragraphs. The click me, which is the button, this is the button here, button type, button, click me here. Then the display is .inner HTML, hello ISP computers, which is what you see here. Then what courses do you offer, which is what you see here. So, but what is important we're trying to establish is that it functions in a code block. So code block, this is just two statements. It can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 20, all will be executed at the same time. So let's make progress. So now we go down. Now, JavaScript statements often start with a keyword which identifies the JavaScript action that is to be performed. Some are listed below. Let's take the code we looked at before, the JavaScript code. If you watch carefully, you see that this JavaScript is the script tag, opening script tag, closing script tag, but it starts with a variable. It starts with what we want to define here as keyword. It starts with a keyword. Or what is the keyword here? The keyword here is function. My function, but the most important thing that is telling you that this, everything under this is a function, and functions are normally defined by this dots. You can give it any name here and close it and put an open and closing bracket. So that's the keyword. So let's quickly go to the keywords. Var declares a variable, let declares a block variable, constant declares a block constant, if makes a block statement to be executed based on a condition, switch makes a block statement to be executed in different cases, for marks a block statement to be executed in a loop, function, which is what we just saw now, declares a function, returns a function, try implements error handling in a block of statements. So let's make progress. So that is, so every JavaScript statement, often, not every time, start with a keyword. So these are examples of keywords. There are more, but these are the major ones regularly used. Now let's make progress. So JavaScript variables. Now we're going to talk about JavaScript variables, operators, and identifiers. Now we are all learning this basics so that we can understand when we are coding JavaScript. In programming, variables are used to store data values. Very important, store data values. JavaScript uses keywords like var, which is variable, let, and constant to declare variables. The equal sign is used to assign values to variables. Important to note. So now, for example, you say let x semicolon, then x is equal to 6. So the keyword here is let, then the variable, which is what is the x, is equal to 6. And it said the equal sign is used to assign values to variables. Now let's look at an example. Now say JavaScript uses arithmetic operations, your normal mathematical operators like plus, minus, this asterisk is multiplication, then slash is division to compute values. It uses these mathematical operators to compute values. Now let's move forward. Now look at this code here. Doc type, HTML, JavaScript, blah, blah, blah. Now look at the script tag here. Now the script tag here is document.get element by ID demo.inner HTML. Now what is the code here? It's 7 plus 5 star multiplied by 10. Now 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 times 10 is 120. So now let's run that code on. So let's go back to the code. So look at the operator, we double click it. Now say JavaScript operators. JavaScript uses arithmetic operators to compute just like algebra. So you see the answer is 120. Let's open the code. Let's open the code here. Right click it. Open Notepad++. Edit with Notepad++. Okay, it's taking a while. Okay, it's open now. So if you see it now, so document.get element by ID in HTML 7 plus 5, which is 12, types 10 is 120. If I make it, for example, 7 plus 7, I remove the 5, I put the bracket sign, it's important, I save it, and I refresh this. You can see the answer now is now 140. 140. So because it's 7 plus 7, which is 14 times 10, gives you 140. So we're learning how to move with the JavaScript code. So now let's make progress. So now we also have what is called identifiers, are JavaScript names which are used to name variables and keywords and functions. That's what we call identifiers. Now a JavaScript name must begin. So an identifier is simply a JavaScript name, and it must begin with a letter, which could be from A to Z, or small letter A to Z. It can begin with a $sign or an underscore. These are the three most important things here. So let me just highlight it and color it red. So it can begin with these three. Now, numbers are not allowed as the first character in names. You cannot use a number to start a JavaScript name or identifier. You can use last names, underscore name, but you cannot use last dash name. It will not recognize it, but it recognizes this. Now continue. All JavaScript identifiers or names are case sensitive. Case sensitive, they respond whether you're using capital or small letters. Example, JavaScript uses, we'll talk about the example, but let's note this quickly. JavaScript uses the Unicode character sets. It's a character set in Unicode which covers almost all the characters, punctuations, and symbols in the world, the Unicode set. So let's move on. Now let's take an example which we said all JavaScript identifiers are case sensitive. Now we have the variables last name and last name. You see they are the same, but there's something different. The N here is in capital, the N here is in small letter. Now let's see how it works. Now this is doc type, JavaScript, blah, blah, blah. We come down here. Now we have last name, the script here, last name, let last name and last name. Let last name is James, let last name is Peter. Now document get by ID, you can see they took the first one, which is the James. Let's see the output. We come here, case sensitive, double click it. You can see it says James. Now let's right click it and edit with Notepad++. Okay, you can see now they said get last names. You can see it got James. Now if I change it to small letter here, last name, which is this one, I save it. The answer here previously was James. If I refresh it, you can see now it is Peter, because JavaScript respects the characters you used for declaring your variables. So this is last name, this is James, which we used before. Now I changed it to a smaller n, it now recognizes this Peter. So that's important to note. Now let's come forward. Now let's go to JavaScript comments. Now double slash is for single line comments. JavaScript ignores any text or statement after the double slash. That's important. It sees it as a comment. Similarly, multi-line comments start with slash asterisk and end with asterisk slash. Any text in between these two is ignored by JavaScript. Now let's look at an example. Now this is the script here. We say let x equals to 5. It is declared, this is a statement, so it does not execute this one because a slash is there. The same thing, it does not execute this because a slash is. So this is for single line comments. Now for multi-line, this is a 3-line. We have opening slash asterisk, 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, it can be 20 lines, provided it is in between this slash asterisk and asterisk slash, it will not be executed. Now let's check how it works. Now says document will get ID in HTML Y. What is the Y? You will calculate it. So let's check that out. Comments, double click it. JavaScript is 7. Let's see the code. right click it, right click, edit with Notepad++. So look at it here. Now it says inner is y. Why? Because what? X, which is 5 plus 2 is what? 7. If you change your X to 9, you save it, you refresh it, it becomes 11. Now, but what is important here is that we are focusing on comment. This is a single line, it's double slash, then this one is for multi-line. Very important. Now, let's make progress. Now, adding double slash in front of a code prevents execution of that code. Now, for example, let y is equals to x plus 2. This code will be executed. This one will be executed. But when you put a slash, you have already programmed it, but as soon as you put a slash in front of it, it will not be executed because JavaScript will interpret it or see it as a comment. So this is how you use, you work with comments in JavaScript. We have also treated how you function with variables, operators, and names or identifiers. We also talked about keywords. These are the keywords that most of the major keywords being used in JavaScript. Then we also talked about what? We talked about JavaScript instructions, how made up of values, operators, expressions, keywords, and comments. Let's close this. So this is on our third lesson in JavaScript. If you have any questions or anything you don't understand, please feel free to drop your comments. So, and the areas you want us to cover, please let us know.